Good morning, church. I cannot hear you. Good morning, church. God is good. And all the time, raise the roof. Tell this person sitting beside you, Jesus is your happiness. So there is this picture that I want to show you of this girl. This was at the airport. Have you ever felt being lost? How many of you have felt being lost? And what story do you have where you lost somewheres, like in church or big school or at the airport or at the grocery, or were you lost in your mom's pantry? Yes, stand up. You were lost at the gorilla house. Real gorillas? As good looking as Father Mario? Wow, that must be awful. Yes. Where were you lost? Stand up. At the store, what kind of store? I hope it's the Apple store. No, what store? Oh, it's a Target. Wow, yes. Stand up. Where were you lost? At an arcade. What kind of arcade? By your grandma's house. Yes, stand up. At the what? The light show. Which one? Was it very dark? Yes, stand up. Where were you lost? At the store. Which store? Walmart. Yes, where were you lost? Stand up. Oh, it was your brother who was lost. So this is confession time now. Where was he lost? At Costco. Oh, all of those big stores, I tell you. Yes. Stand up. Who got lost in Disney? Your little sister. I would love to get lost in Disney. Goodbye, parents. Yes. You got lost in a hike on a camping trip. Oh! I'm already so afraid. Oh my gosh. Yes. Stand up.
I got lost at a store.
At what store?
Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's. How did you feel when you got lost? Tell me. How did you feel? How was that feeling when you got lost? Stand up. Stand up. Scared? Yes, stand up. Alone? Yes, stand up. You felt like you were in a box? Were you really in a box? Yes? Yes. How did you feel when you got lost? Stand up. Stand up. Scary. Yes. That I will never see my family again. Oh, that is terrible. Yes. You were trapped in a horror game. I'm already sweating just listening to that. Yes. You're like in the middle of nowhere. I was a kindergarten. We have kindergartens here, right? Where are they? Where are they? I cannot see them. Where are they? Oh, your guys are right there. Can you stand up? Can you stand up? Ah, okay, you are standing up. Very good. So I was, what is this? This tall, right? Kindergarten? Right? No, higher or lower? Higher? That's a first grader. Okay, you can sit down now. So I was kindergartner, and I went to a kind of arcade, and with my mom and dad and with my sister. And I was holding on to my dad's hands because my dad's hands are big and strong. He was a farmer before, and he was a security guard before. So I'm like, I love holding his hands. But Father Mario loves toys. How many of you love toys? Woo! And I can see at the arcade so many stores selling what? Toys. And I saw a toy that I love so much. It was a robot. And there was so many people like bump to bump like that. And I told myself, I'm just gonna look very quick. So I let go of my dad's hands. I went to the store. And then suddenly, the owner of the store said, "Child, are you alone?" And I'm like, and Father Mario just started crying. No, that's a baby crying. But I went like this. And I started crying. And you know, I have a big voice, right? My mom and dad found me. And the very thing that my mom first did when she found me was she held me like this. You know, so I was this big, very cute little boy. She held me like this. And she started crying too. And then my dad said, "Okay, now you're found. Time to go ice cream." That's what I said. Ah! Suddenly, I'm not crying anymore. You know, why do we have to come back home to God? Why do we need to come back to Jesus? Pope Francis said a year ago that we need to return to God because we know deep within ourselves that we are lost. That we know deep within our relationships that we are lost. That we know deep within in our society that we are lost. That we know deep within in our world that we are lost. That we know that we cannot find ourselves as much as we try. We need someone to invite us back home, to hear the cries that sometimes, Pope Francis said, we do not know where that's coming from. That pain, that feeling of being lost, that feeling of being alone, that feeling of being rejected, that feeling that nobody is there with you. And grace, that word is so beautiful, amazing grace, because it's grace that finds you. The way we come back to God is the way for 5,000 years the Jews and the Christians responded to that call, "Come back to me." Next slide, please. Can we read that together? The 3 pillars of Lent: prayer, God is joy; fasting, God is enough; almsgiving, God is love. So when you are with your friend, how do you feel when you are with friend? You know, talking to your friend or playing with your friend or just enjoying chatting with your friend. How do you feel? You feel happy. Huh? And it's the same way when we spend time with God. We are just happy. We find out that when we are with God, when we are with Jesus, we are joyful. God is joy. What's the second word after prayer? Fasting. Can we say that word together? Fasting. So, Holy Mother Church is only asking us to fast twice this year, one today and one on Good Friday. But she is also asking us to look into our lives and see how much more can you discipline your body. You know, you really do not need that extra chocolate today or that extra Netflix tomorrow. You do not really need 4 hours on the internet, watching games. How about just 1 hour? And usually, this year, because I am such a coffee addict, this is the start in which I let go of coffee. Because I want to remind my body, but especially my mind, that God is enough. God is enough. Can we say those words together? Because the only thing that you can bring to heaven, listen to this, the only thing that you can bring to heaven is not all of those things that you have, or even the relationships that you have. The only thing that you can bring to heaven is your character. Your character. Knowing that in your body, in your soul, and in your spirit, God is enough. What's the third word? When you give, and that is love, when you give, especially to the poor, the vulnerable, the stranger, the weak, the homeless, the naked, the stranger, the imprisoned, those that are left out by society, those who are deemed by society not good, you will experience that God is love. Guys, when you have joy, when you have love, when you have enough because you have God, you have everything you need to be happy. Can we bow our heads? Put both of our hands by our hearts. And can we just say thank you to God for this springtime that He is about to give us? Let's be excited on how He's going to renew our minds and our hearts, on how He's going to renew our relationships, on how we're going to grow our muscles of love, generosity, forgiveness, mercy. Please rise.